What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a Destroy All Humans 3. This is what I think should be the next move from the Destroy All Humans franchise. So obviously, we've had Destroy All Humans 1 being remade, Destroy All Humans 2 being remade, both by Black Forest Games, and both within 2 years, right? The first game was remade and came out in the summer of 2020, and then this one comes out right now, really, at the end of August of 2022. Now, obviously, for those that know the Destroy All Humans franchise, there's only two more. There's Destroy All Humans Big Willie Unleashed, which released in early 2008, and then there's Destroy All Humans Path of the Furon that released at the end of 2008. Now, Path of the Furon is generally kind of like that third game. Technically, it's not. It's the fourth, but it's considered kind of a what would be a replacement Destroy All Humans 3. The issue here, and this is what I've been talking about, honestly, go back 2 years ago, you'll find I'm saying the same things. When you remade the first game, they made a lot of sense. The first game was a really, really good game. Obviously, started it all. There's not much debate there, right? Destroy All Humans 2 was an excellent, excellent sequel. They really, in my opinion, improved upon pretty much everything. Now, both of these remakes, by the way, are very, very good. I've played both of them. I own both of them. They're incredibly, incredibly good games. Question is, how well have they sold? Well, the issue is Destroy All Humans has never really sold well in its entire lifetime. It's owned by a small, like THQ. I don't really think they're looking for that big of sales to move this, franchise forward. I'm sure the first one sold well enough to demand, remaking the second game. And again, they turned it around in 2 years and remade both of these games in the matter of that time. Obviously, it was a little bit, before then as well. And now in terms of the sales of these games, we really do not know all that much. However, here we are. We're at really a fork in the road, in my opinion. There's only two ways to go. You could keep going, remaking the other Destroy All Humans games. Again, you got two more, both of which, though, are looked at not well, all right? Now, you can debate, because I have seen the debate. I was watching a couple videos on Path of the Furon and like the cutscenes, and I was going through the comments. I mean, there are people there that say, this is like a cult hit, right? It doesn't necessarily deserve the scores, but I mean, the scores that these games got and just the general, I think there's a reason why the franchise stopped here, all right? As many people that may think these are like cult classics and they're super good and all that stuff, they got reviewed very badly, and it stopped here. It stopped in 2008, and we didn't get anything for 12 years. Now, yes, there were other things going on, but at the end of the day, you have a franchise that didn't ever really sell all that great, and then you had two games that, debatable. Are they awful? Are they okay? What are they? So you could remake those. Now, the issue I have, right, is in the modern age that we're in, when you have remakes, you even have remasters, you tend to do them on, like, good games, right? You're going back in time, and you're saying, hey, these games were amazing, and maybe they were cult hits, right? Back then, let's bring them up to modern day. You could look to Mass Effect, you can look to Resident Evil, you can look to Demon Souls, even look at The Last of Us, which isn't that old, right? But you have all these examples, but you're always picking games that are good. There's very few that are picking games that are, like, really bad. Again, we can debate the whole video, so let's just go with the assumption, or how I'm going to, like, these two games that are left are not good. They're not very good, and in my opinion, they're not two games that you would ever want to actually remake. Now, my flip side argument to just making a Destroy All Humans 3 is this. You've remade 1 and 2. You've remade the best two Destroy All Humans games, and you've done it, to their credit, to Black Forest Games' credit, incredibly well. Okay, the remakes of these two games, whether, they're all that amazing or like the gameplay still holds up, it's a faithful remake. Yes, there's a couple jokes removed, which is a little disappointing in this newer one, but they did a pretty good job, okay? And they kept the core of what Destroy All Humans is. Now, I don't know if a Destroy All Humans 3 would work nowadays. Maybe the humor, you'd have to massively tone it back, which would then lead you into like a Saints Row situation, right? A game that, depending, what do you think? Is it like 10%, 20%, 30%? How much of the game rests upon its like risky humor, right? Humor that was cool back then but doesn't exactly work nowadays, or maybe it gets shunned by Twitter. Like, how much of that is the game? I'd say it's a decent amount, right? And again, looking at Saints Row, if you remove that entirely, and you try to make it like progressive and new and all that stuff, I mean, it's not exactly going to work. But I do think they've learned all they need to know from the Destroy All Humans franchise, right? That's where I'm at. In my opinion, this is like a Crash Bandicoot or even a Spyro. This is actually almost a prototype of how I would do it. You have this franchise. In this case, it's more like cult-like, right? Like popular, but to a smaller group. You remake the two biggest ones and the best ones, which just so happened to be the first two. And now it's like, all right, none of them were called Destroy All Humans 3, right? It was almost like they were building to it. Big Willie Unleashed, Path of the Furon, Destroy All Humans 3. You know what I mean? So you have the two done. Why not, instead of remaking two games that were not well received at all? And if you remake them, by the way, what are you doing? All you're really doing is upping it. What if the story is not nearly as strong, in my opinion? The character's not nearly as strong. There's some interesting decisions they made there. The gameplay is, cool and different, all that stuff. So, I mean, maybe, upgrading that to modern day. I mean, yeah, you can, like, improve the frame rate and all that stuff. Fine. But, I mean, wouldn't it be better if you just took the story of 1 and 2 and then you said, okay, you're allowed to make a 3? Normally, I'm not a fan, right, of studios that come in, whether it's a movie or a show or a game. I'm not a big fan of a studio picking up and then like deciding the future of the franchise when they're not the ones who created it, right? Again, it's like an iffy thing. It's like, well, do they really deserve to do that? You can debate it. In this case, I honestly will give it to them. I would give it to a lot of these remakes, like Crash, right? You remake the Insane Trilogy, you do the Insane Trilogy, and it's like, all right, there's really, in terms of who's around right now, there's nobody better to just make a new Crash game. I mean, you can remake the other ones later, but there's nobody better to make a Crash game than you. So go ahead and make a new, and that's what happened. And the Crash game is actually rather good, right? That's exactly where I'm at here. There's nobody modern day, no studio, that could make a Destroy All Humans 3, except for these guys. That's it. They're the ones who would know it the best. They have the most hands-on experience with it. Make a third game, and if you want to remake the other two afterwards, go ahead. But make an actual Destroy All Humans 3. Forget the plot of Big Willie and Path of the Furon. Forget that, and make your own. That's what I think they should do. That's what I'm hoping that they do. Because at this point too, I mean, if it takes them 2 years each time, you're looking 2 years from now, you get Big Willie Unleashed. Another 2 years, you get Path of the Furon. Do we need that? Do we need over the next 4 years those two games? Or would you take a Destroy All Humans 3? I would take a Destroy All Humans 3. So hopefully that happens. We'll see what happens when this game comes out. When I'm recording this, it's not even out yet. I have the review code. That's how I know the game's pretty darn good. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all of my social media is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.